They played like they let them in the game.
Good morning, everybody. Welcome to the Hardcore Mortgage Real Estate and Business Podcast. Today is January 13th, 2022. It is a Thursday. I know it is unusual that we're coming to you on Thursday at 11 o'clock as opposed to Wednesday, but there's going to be some time changes coming up in the future, which I'll go over. But at any rate, this is the Hardcore Mortgage Real Estate Business Podcast, brought to you by Capital Mortgage Funding, always powered by Fairway Independent Mortgage Corporation. We are an equal housing lender. Our NMLS number for compliance and legal is 2289. And with me this morning, we are starting off. We have the queen of credit, the Google of the office, Lisa Lawson. Hi, Lisa.
Morning, everybody.
Good morning. And also we have Mr. John Kolb, top 1% of all originators in the United States for the last so many years, and going into his 24th year in the mortgage industry. Good 25th. Morning, John Kolb. 25th.
25th. Good morning. Yep. Welcome, everyone.
That means you're old. I'll get the first old joke in, John. 25 years in the mortgage industry. You no longer have red hair. It is now sort of a little salt and peppery, ginger, whatever it is. Also with us, we have the host with the most, going into his 23rd year on the radio, his almost 30 years in the mortgage business, Mr. Harvey Freed. Good morning, Harv.
Good morning, Harry. What's up?
And as always, behind the booth, the man behind the curtain in the booth, Roberto Beauchene, our producer and director. Hi, Roberto. You guys can't see Roberto, but I can't tell the difference between Scott Van Pelt, Harvey Freed, and Roberto Beauchene. I mean, I can't, but that's an inside joke. All right, panel, question for you. Here we go. We're going to start it off. We're going to come out of the bullpen, throw in 105. Rough first week of the new year for the mortgage industry. Mortgage interest rates and the real estate inventory. Mortgage rates up, real estate inventory down. Purchase activity still very strong. Is the worst over early in January for mortgage interest rates? And Lisa, we'll start with you, ladies first.
I'm going to say no. I mean, we've been preaching it and preaching it and preaching it. You know, rates aren't dropping to zero. What are you waiting for? Get the rate that you want, lock it in now. I mean, I feel like a broken record sometimes, but this is exactly why. I can't even tell you how many calls I got after the new year. Everyone was waiting. They're too busy around the holidays. And they're like, well, I thought the rate was this, or you said it was this, a month ago. And I'm like, well, that's what it was a month ago. So do I foresee that it's going to go back to that? I mean, nobody has a crystal ball. I'm not saying that we might not get back there at one point, but I don't think that's going to be anytime soon. And I think that rates are still going to be on the rise. Obviously, they will rise slowly, I think, over the course of time. But yeah, I mean, if this is something you want to do it now.
I love that, Lisa Lawson. I wish we rehearsed that. We just happen to be in the street all day, every day, and we know what's going on. Go to you, Mr. John Kolb. Is the worst over early in 2022 for mortgage interest rates?
I think there's just a lot of knee-jerk reactions going on with everything going on in the economy, everything going on politically, everything going on with this stupid virus. That there's just a lot of knee-jerk reactions in both markets, and I'm hoping that it kind of corrects itself and comes back a little bit. But like Lisa said, I don't see it going back down to two in the twos on a 30-year fix without any points. But they're still all-time low. People are still have to realize that in the year 2000, when Harvey Freed and I were young bucks and you were still old, we were writing rates at 9.25 for 30-year fix.
When you say you, you mean me. You don't mean Lisa Lawson, as she was the last speaker. You're addressing me, right, John?
Lisa was still in high school. You were still considered old at that point. Harvey and I were young bucks.
Okay, I just want to make sure. I want to clarify for everybody out there, because when you say you, John, you have to be more specific, John. I'm trying to teach you that. I'm trying to teach you. Be
Speaker
specific.
of the House. The Speaker of the House, Mr. Harry Pelosi. So yes, but yeah, I don't see them going back down. They're still all-time lows. Still a great time to do something. We talk about this every single day. Harvey and I talked about it at the dentist's office yesterday. We're excited for the purchase market that's coming up, because we're looking for more homes on the market, and also some value staying consistent.
Great. Harvey Freed, Mr. Harvey Freed, dressed up for us today. I really appreciate that. I like that. Harvey, mortgage interest rates, is the worst over for early 2022? What do you think?
Yeah, they could burp up a little bit more, Harry. We talk about 2019 before the pandemic started. Rates were at 4.25, 4.5. So, depending upon what your credit score is, the elements involved in a mortgage are still very important. And it's very important, as we always talk about, educating yourself. When should you pay a discount point? If you're going to stay in the house and you're doing a cash out refinance, maybe locking down to a new 20-year fix, the math might make sense. So we like the idea of when and why. When should you buy down the interest rate? We're still at all-time mortgage low interest rates, and a little bit knowledge could really help you financially. It's not one size fits all anymore. And again, we always talk about this knowledge. You get a little bit of mortgage knowledge behind you. If you're a buyer, you're a seller, you're someone who needs a mortgage. Listen to this radio show today. Maybe we'll tip off how important it is to understand those numbers. What does a discount point mean to you, and how it can help you to save money?
Yeah, and I think it's in a math equation, Harvey. People should pay points if they want to get to a specific, easy for me to say, specific rate, and they're going to be in a house for a very, very long time. But it's all in the math. And panel, I agree with you. So we're going to have 4 no's on just a singular question: is the worst over for rates? But let me tell you what's going on a positive note, panel. The purchase market is still on fire. That is a positive. There are so many buyers out there, and with a lack of inventory, and you're saying, Harry, why is that a positive that there's a lack of inventory? I'm not saying that. I'm saying it's a positive that the purchase market is still hot, that there is so much activity right now. There are a lot of purchase agreements flying around. And we had Lisa Niederlander on our show last week. Harvey Freed brought Lisa on. She was very specific as to her market and gave brilliant statistics on how many buyers are out there and what the market is entailing. Now, this week, we have Kyle Lang from Remax on. Kyle is also an extremely knowledgeable realtor, and he's going to bring in his statistics too. So, but what we know overall, John Cole, going to you, is right now, the activity in the purchase market has not slowed down.
No, it's not. I mean, we've hit a little bit of a lull in mortgage applications, but that has to do with the rates kind of slowly going up for refinances, and it being January, the dead of winter for Michigan, for us right now. But it's going to pick up in the next couple of weeks. The cold's not going to hold anybody back, and it's going to be, like I said, we've all said, it's going to be a great purchase market this year, and we're excited to get new people into new homes, existing clients into new homes, second homes, whatever they want to try to do. So we're excited to the opportunities that are going to be put in front of us.
Yeah, Lisa, I know your realtor partners are always busy. What are you hearing on the street from them?
Yeah, I mean, I think I'm actually starting to tick up again already this past week. I mean, I think yesterday I got 2 purchase agreements. Day before I got a couple more, so I think my lull is actually kind of coming to an end here, and we're starting to uptick. And I've got people making offers like crazy, but we're it sounds like we're inching back a little bit to where people were having more success getting offers accepted. They're having a little bit less success. And obviously that equates to the fact that there's just so many people who want to buy homes, and we're having a little bit of a shortage again, right? Not so many things on the market at the moment. So that equates to that. And I think that will work itself out in the next couple months, as spring gets closer. We just went through the holidays. Not everybody's ready to put their house on the market after Christmas. But, I think that will, like I said, work itself out. But I'm already starting to see an uptick myself.
I love it. Harvey Freed, we had Lisa on the show on Saturday, Hardcore Mortgage Real Estate Business Show, brought to you by Capital Mortgage Funding. Every week, heard 9 to 10 on 97.1 FM. What we said, if you recall, Harvey, is never waive a home inspection. And a real life circumstance happened with one of my buyers yesterday. The house was a beautiful bungalow in Royal Oak that they happened to add on to it. The house was beautiful. Well, the inspection was yesterday, Harvey Freed, and the house failed the inspection miserably. So it was a pass-fail inspection. The house failed. Why? Because the addition that was put on, there was an engineer present and there was a home inspector. The engineer determined that the addition, Harvey Freed, is sinking.
Yeah, it's funny, Harry. I think my cousin already did an inspection on that house. I'm glad you're bringing these kind of things up. I want to just dive in a little bit. Home purchasing, people putting their guard down, not doing the inspections. We've seen a little bit over the last 2 years. A lot of these homes have issues. And again, if it's a structural issue and a foundation sinking, it's going to be very costly. So in this case, Harry, your clients will do the thing and maybe probably walk away from it. But this is why it's so important. There are some things that can be fixed. An old furnace, an old hot water heater, a sub pump, a crack in a foundation can be fixed and have an answer to why maybe that can be mud jacked or fixed with the foundation, a less costly expense. But a serious foundation matter, this could be $35,000 to $55,000 just for starters. And Harry, this is why, again, evidence again, why families need to, you put that pass fail and you at least cover yourself that first 7 to 10 days and understand what you're buying.
Yeah, and Harvey, to be a little bit more specific here, my question to the realtor and my buyer was, take a look at the seller's disclosure. Was any of this disclosed on the seller's disclosure? And we all know what the answer to that question is. So they did end up walking away from the house. And I said, and my motto is, John, another one of my mottos, like early is on time and on time's late, is that some of the best deals you do are the ones you never do. So in this case, it holds true for that buyer. John, I'm going to get into it with you right now. The MBA, the Mortgage Bankers Association, says the latest rate spike is closing the door on refinance. Panel, I'm going to say this to you. I disagree with that. What say you, John?
Well, no, it's not going to close the door on refinances. There's always going to be refinances available. Numbers are numbers, right? If you can make the numbers make sense to you by paying off debt, maybe your interest rate goes up by a quarter, 3/8%. But if you're saving money on the long run, getting rid of that credit card debt or getting cash out to fix up the home the way that you want to, then it makes sense. I mean, what they're talking about is the door is closing on 2% refinances. And you know what? Yeah, that's true. But that doesn't mean that refinances aren't still out there for everybody and make sense. Rates are rates. Don't look at the rate. Don't think about just the rate. Think about what the monthly payment means to you, how much money you're saving out of pocket, what you can do to make your home work better for you so that you can live a happier life.
I love that. Lisa Lawson said it. She directly said it. What are you waiting for? We've been telling you for months and months and months. It's about saving money, right, Lisa? So what are you waiting for?
Yeah. And, saving money works more than one way. Yes, you can save money on an interest rate, but like John already alluded to, sometimes it's about cash flow. So, 10 years ago, when people took cash out, we did cash out refis. It was expected. Most people were paying a higher rate than the rate they may have already had. They maybe would have had a 5, and then with the cash out refi, they were paying 5.25, 5.5. But it still made sense because they were consolidating debt, and maybe they improved their cash flow by $600, $700, $800, $300, whatever their situation was, allowing them to save more or do whatever they wanted to do with that money. So there's more to the story than just the rate, and you have to remember that. And this is the time to evaluate it. Yes, rates are on an uptick, but we're not topped out. We still have phenomenal rates if you look over the course of history. So if this is something that you thought you wanted to do and keep saying, I'm going to make the call, make the call now. Because if you wait another, handful of months, you really might not be able to make the savings. You might not make sense for you. So, spend 10 minutes, pick up the phone, call one of us.
Yeah, I think segue right into that conversation, Harvey, about mortgage rates and not waiting. Why shouldn't people wait? We know rates are going up because Federal Reserve Chairman Jerome Powell hinted at raising rates 3 times this year in 2022, a quarter point starting in March, another quarter 2 times more in 2022, Harvey. Some experts believe there are going to be 4 rate hikes.
Wow.
So if you go 4 rate hikes at 25 basis points each, that's a full point, which could mean mortgage interest rates back to pre-pandemic levels, which would be 4.5%, 4.25%. So why are people waiting? What are people waiting for, Harvey?
Well, I hope they're not waiting too much longer. The Fed funds rate, of course, has a direct correlation to the mortgage rates, the bond market, inflation, jobless claims and unemployment, how that all will fit into 2022. And of course, the pandemic. Yeah, the Fed funds rates will go up. Sometimes they'll go up and the rates won't change. It'll already be built in, Harry. So the jury's out. It's going to be a very interesting year. Again, we're expecting an extremely sound purchase market. The refinance market will be there. And as John Kolb mentioned, maybe not the same interest rates we saw the last 24 months, but definitely moving forward, great opportunities. Look at your overall savings. And again, Harry, your famous line, what are you waiting for? Hopefully people will start calling sooner than later.
Well, and I think we have to, what we try to do, Harvey, and you're big on this, is educating the borrower and letting them know what's going on. I believe it is our duty and our responsibility to give people accurate versus inaccurate information. And you say, Harry, well, of course, why wouldn't you give accurate information versus inaccurate? Because there's a lot of inaccuracies out there. There's a lot of mortgage jargon that's throwing around all the time. And truthfully, it makes me sick to my stomach when I hear it. I can't stand that, but that's a different show for a different day. John Kolb, no doubt, COVID and inflation is going to play a big part first quarter, second quarter of 2022. You brought it up. I want to touch upon that, but specifically panel. And I'm going to start with you, John, on this. And I want your thoughts on this panel. How do you see the impact of COVID and inflation within your market area and with your client base and realtor partners happening the first half of the year? What do you see as the big influence?
The biggest influence is the cost of goods and the cost of services for purchasing a home, fixing up a home, moving costs. I mean, everything costs so much more money than it used to right now. And that's going to stretch on people for buying new furniture. They may find the perfect home, but they may not be able to outfit it the way that they want because the cost of everything to do so. So, is it going to have an influence? Absolutely, it's going to have an influence because everything, people are taking into account, if I want to upgrade my home and increase my monthly payment, but I'm also looking at my finances on the other side, cost of gas is going up, the cost of groceries are going up, just the cost of everything. Does it make a lot of sense to increase a house payment right now when inflation is not under wraps? And it's something that people need to think about. I don't think it's top of mind, but it's certainly something people need to think about. Put a budget together, figure out what you're spending each and every month on your incidentals so that you know what's going out of pocket and you have an idea of what you're going to be comfortable paying on a new home. And then in the hopes that inflation comes back down, prices come back down, and everybody saves. But it's just proper planning, being smart, thinking ahead, and you got to do that kind of stuff. You can't just go out on a whim and purchase a home like you used to in the old days, Harry days.
Yeah. Now, Harvey, John. Back in my day, speaking of the old days, we bought houses and we didn't have furniture in the living room for months and months and months. I know Harvey remembers that because he bought houses back in the old days. Nobody bought a house and then fully furnished it right away. You had a nice play area for your 2-year-old, and 5-year-old in the living room where we used to play basketball and everything. But now it seems that everybody wants things right now. They want to buy a house. They want it full of furniture within the first 2 weeks. And that's the end of it. You don't have to do it that way. Now I'm dating myself, as I told you I would, John Kolb. Lisa Lawson, no doubt COVID inflation will play a big part minimally through the first and second quarter of 2022. How do you feel it impacting it like John does?
Yeah, actually, I couldn't agree with him more. I think, I keep hearing people say, I can't believe how much my grocery bill cost. Like my grocery bill was like, 1.5 times it normally is. And, they wanted to do a home project, but the materials, when they first priced it out last spring, decided to hold off. Now the materials are even more. So I couldn't agree with him more. And I think there are a lot of people who already are conscious about that going on, and it's all the more reason to get a financial review, see if refinancing makes sense. Can we free up some money for you? Can we drop your payment a bit? Maybe we don't shorten the term, maybe we keep the same term, but you're getting to a lower rate. So this is the time to review all that and make sure that your, mortgage is working for you and that all of your finances are healthy. And so I couldn't agree with anything, he said even more.
Harvey Freed, your clients, COVID, inflation, saving money, a lot of moving parts, right, buddy?
Yeah, the whole thing, Harry, and we go back a lot of years, is this educational piece. Sit down with your financial planner. We see a lot of our friends and family that are even self-employed. They're starting to talk about maybe doing a purchase They got to get their tax returns done. Some of the calls to start off the new year have been pretty interesting. I've had some really great buyers call. And then it's always puzzling that there's still so many buyers out there that need more help. Boy, Harry, I had one call. I couldn't agree with the guy more. Another call, he had no idea what he was speaking of. And I really hope that these families get more professional help out there and make better decisions. As we know, there's a lot of new people in our industry. As you mentioned, Harry, there's a lot of miscellaneous information out there that's not true. And because of that, you got to get the right people on your transaction.
Yep. And I appreciate that. And I appreciate all of us trying to educate our borrowers and giving them what we feel is the best advice out there. And Lisa Lawson, the queen of credit, the Google of the office, I'm going to start with you for the last word of the day, move off to John Kolb, and then go to Harvey. And then we'll wrap it up for today. So here it is, Lisa Lawson, last words, January 13th, 2022.
Yeah, this is still the new year. So everyone makes all these New Year's resolutions, right? What they're going to do. They're going to get healthy. They're going to do this. Get fiscally healthy. That should be everyone's top priority. Yes, go to the gym, do your workout, change your diet, do all that. But get fiscally healthy. Get your mortgage reviewed. Make sure that you're in a healthy mortgage, that your rate isn't too high, that there isn't a better way to structure that so that your money can work for you. That's my big push this year.
I love that. Mr. John Kolb.
Hey, join us for the Hardcore Mortgage Real Estate radio show on Saturday, 9 a.m. to 10 a.m., 97.1 FM, Metro Detroit. We're going to have Kyle Lang from Remax Dream Properties, a young buck, but a guru in his industry, already making waves within his own company. And we're looking forward to hearing what he has to tell us and getting back on the air.
Excellent. Mr. Harvey Freed.
Yeah, I like that. A couple things there. I'll repeat what those guys said. Having great real estate agents on the radio show, Harry, these professionals. Last week it was Lisa. Now we're going to have Kyle on. Kyle's awesome in that area, especially in his backyard, Northville, Westland, Livonia, first-time home buyers, stepping up if you're looking at new construction. You got to have this quality realtor in your life. Also healthy. I like that for 2022. Not only get yourself skinny down or lose weight and watch your cholesterol and all those things, get your finances healthy. And it only takes a couple free calls. So who are you going to call for that? A brand new company? Then you're talking with brand new people, or go to the experienced people and find out what you need to know about your mortgage and your real estate moving forward.
Yeah, I love you guys. I like having you on this podcast and on the radio show. We're going to be in studio, Harvey, you and I, with Kyle Lang. John is going to be up north on the Zoom. He's going to go ahead and check in with 97.1. We'll all be there. Listen, everybody, it is now going into the second week. We are in the second week of 2022. You got to go get your physical checkup. I did mine on Monday. A lot of checkups coming up. I want to make sure that I am a healthy person going into this new year. I also want to go ahead and offer up a free, no obligation. We call it your money. Saving you money is top of mind for us every single day. If you don't get your house in order, I'm not only talking about physically, but financially. You need to have your financial house in order for not all of 2022, but what are your goals and objectives for beyond 2022? We can help you out with that. We can save you money. Capital Mortgage Funding is going into its 30th year. We celebrate 30 years in 2022. Yes, John, that's a long time. I think you were at Orchard Lake Middle School 30 years ago. That could be true. I know Harvey was out of school. He was in the mortgage business 30 years ago. And Lisa was probably in nursery school then, John. So let's face it, we're all getting older. I think we're all getting wiser. But what we're doing every single day is dispensing valuable advice to our clients. Now, are you going to always agree with us? Absolutely not. But that's why we're here. Use us as your sounding board, and we'll make sure that we save you the most money. Appreciate this. Has been the Hardcore Mortgage Real Estate Business Show for January 13th, 2022. Don't forget to join John Kolb, Harry Glantz, maybe Lisa Lawson, Harvey Freed. I know Kyle Lang is going to be there. We're going to have a lot of fun. We're going to bring you the best guests we possibly can and the best information. So for our panel, John, Lisa, Harvey, myself, producer, director Roberto Beauchene, We are out for today. Thank you, everybody.